Hello, hi, welcome. Anand here. Let's start chapter number second, magic of compounding, my interpretations. To understand this easy, we have seen how the seed turns to a plant, and the plant turns to a tree. A seed which has no value, it stays in a packet, but when it's put it on the ground, and you take care of that seed when it's on the ground, you water it, provide the sunlight, take care of it and its environment, you realize that that seed turns into a plant, small saplings, and then into a fresh tree, younger tree, and then it slowly becomes the mature tree. This part of the life, ये life हम हर रोज हमेशा life में देखते हैं, and this is a classical example to understand the compounding. Let me tell you how and why. The seed, I will rate that seed with the seed money. Okay, the money that you have it in your pocket. तो जेब में पैसे पड़े हैं, that is the seed. Okay, rate, इसको principle भी कहते हैं. The formula of the compounding principle is called the seed. Okay, next is the rate, or rate of interest. The rate of interest in that tree is actually the seed convert into a tree. At which growth it grows is the rate of interest. Okay, so if that tree is not given sunlight, not given the water on time, the rate of interest goes down, so on and so forth. And time is that how much time it took for the seed to become the mature tree. So I've related the tree with three things, pillar of the formula, P, R, and T. Okay. So if I make this formula here, the formula of compounding is P basis 1 plus R divided by 100, where R is the rate of interest, raised to the power of time. The time we spend the money, we leave the money there. So to understand this pretty easy way, it is called the compounding is actually called the eighth wonder of the world. Seven wonders of the world में Taj Mahal है. This is actually the eighth, and actually I will tell you, this is your ally. This always stays in your favor. Whenever you are trying to increase your, if you're moving towards financial freedom or reaching to a goal, compounding is always your ally. Okay, now let's understand the other piece of the crux here is फॉर्मूला समझ में आ गया, बट टाइम को समझते हैं. टाइम को समझने का तरीका, आई विल गिव यू एग्जांपल ऑफ अ पर्सन हु स्टार्ट्स एट द एज ऑफ 25 and he puts money every month at the same percentage. Let's say in this calculation I'm taking 10%. Okay, and a person who is at the age of 35, he starts putting the money, same amount of the money, and he's also getting the 10%. तो क्या डिफरेंस आता है when they both retire at the age of 60. Okay, ये सामने कैलकुलेशन दिख रही होगी, मैंने अभी कैलकुलेट करी नहीं है, but you will be able to see the difference, how much it is happening. Okay, and the difference appears to be big, huge. So if you can understand by this calculation is that when the age changes, the early the investment changes of that seed money changes, the horizon, the result changes. To understand this better, there is a live example. ये तो सिर्फ एक hypothetical value थी. Now let's look to a real value. Let's take a portfolio of Warren Buffett. Okay, so Warren Buffett ने एक बहुत अच्छा lesson सिखाया है. He taught a very important lesson. That is the time, and second is consistency. Okay, if you see his portfolio has grown big. And the bigger portion of the chunk is at the end of it. Why? Why it's like that? Because the seed money that he has put in, he never took it out. He always keep on investing more on it. Okay. Why I'm focusing more on this seed money? Because हम लोग क्या करते हैं, we whenever our money doubles, to something, and we always come up with a reason to put that money somewhere else. For example, oh, let's buy a sofa, oh, let's buy a car, let's pay the installment. ये काम नहीं करना है. Don't do this, because the objective of this money is different. Okay, you don't have to pay your expenses from this money, or regular expenses. You This money is supposed to work as to make a bigger wheel of it. So keep that in mind. Okay, there is one piece of the puzzle that we need to understand here is rule of 72. Okay, what does it means by rule of 72? um, Formula of compounding is not easy to remember, भूल जाते हैं. लेकिन rule of 72 is very easy to understand. Is that जैसे भी हमारे पास seed money that we are trying to put it in, let's say fixed deposit, or fixed deposit का rate of interest is an example, it's 6% है. So 6% is the rate of interest, and if I apply the rule of 72, how it will look like is that 72 divided by 6 is equal to 12. 12 6 72. So it takes 12 years for the money to double at 6%. That's the rule of 72. Why I'm associating rule of 72 with compounding is because at the end of the day we want to increase the money. Okay, and you may forget PRT and the formula behind it, but we can use leverage on simple method of 72 and come up with an example. Let's change the figure from 6%, we change it to 12. And use 72 divided by 12 is actually 6. It takes 6 years to double the money. And let's say if the rate of interest is 15%, then your 72 divided by 15 would be somewhere around 4 se 5 saal. Between 4 and 5, your money get doubles. So rate of interest is like the speed of the car. Okay, how fast you drive it. Keep in mind that if you drive your car faster, there's a higher chance that you will get into an accident. Why I'm saying these words is because sometimes people try to increase the rate of interest by buying equity stocks or very risky investments. And they assume that it will grow, but that doesn't happen. Okay, so we can understand this scenario with an example of Warren Buffett. When he was at a young age, he used to buy the last puff stocks. What is the last puff stocks means? Usually when somebody's smoking or is cigarette, he usually throws a cigarette, फेंक दी उन्होंने, and then there's still smoke left, a puff left, but the value of that cigarette is gone. So but if somebody tries to puff it, he will be able to smoke it for 2-3 times. So that kind of stocks what Warren Buffett used to buy at his young age. So he buys it at a price where no one wants it, and he is able to ride it for up till 2 or 3 puffs, or 2 or 3 puffs. That's how he was able to risk it. But as his portfolio grows by, his gear shifted more towards steady, consistent growth, like companies like Apple, companies like Chevron, companies which are commodity that keep on working, chugging the whole world, and they keep on working on the same direction. Okay, so that's why you have to understand, if you are focused more towards the rate of interest, you're putting your heart and your mind in it. In returns, you will lose your time. Why? Because if you buy some shitty stocks and the stocks which has no value, um, uh, you are putting, when they fall down, you will fall down. I mean, you will feel sad. Your emotions will change. So you have to understand on which gear of you want to drive the car, and on which lane you want to drive the car. So that's one part of it. Okay, rule of 72 done, growth rate is done. Okay, now there's one thing I need to characterize, especially towards the Warren Buffett portfolio, the wheel of wealth. If you see the wheel of wealth, I think मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले बात कर ली है इस पे, लेकिन the wheel of wealth is actually showing that the last time, when as it grows by, the size of money doubling increases in the later years, because the seed is actually growing. The seed money has actually grown. It has never been took out. Even when the crash happened, the money was never taken out. So we have to keep that in mind, that we will not take out our seed money just to buy some sofa. Okay, this money is separate. After understanding this, we have to come to, there's a one piece of understanding is here, is that some of the key points is that compounding says you have to start early. Second, stay disciplined. Let the time do the heavy lifting. Why? You don't come up with a target. Okay, oh, I have 5 lakhs, I want to make it 15 lakhs in 3 years. Why you want to do it like this? Why you want to come a target with 3 years? 4 साल लगा लो, 5 years लगा लो, 6 years लगा लो. Why you have to come up with a target like this? Because if you come up with a target like this, you're focusing more towards the rate of interest, and that is something you have to avoid. Okay, because as in chapter 1 it says, the growth of stock market comes in bunches. You have to sit on it. Okay, so I'm sticking that point here. Okay, so the key here is, what is the best time after learning this compounding is when to start. Actually, when to start was yesterday. That was the best time to start. So what is the next best time? You know it today. Thank you.